All right, back to the girls' room. In real life, these conversations you have in your head, I have in my head, straight to the mirror to therapize myself and keep me grounded during this time of no therapy, no licensed therapy. So I have realized during this dating journey and just life journey that you have to say things. You have to communicate. It's actually not that hard to do once you start. It's like this snowball effect of easy vulnerability that you realize all you have to do is, like Kevin Hart said, say it with your chest. Just say it with your chest. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters during this time. Like, don't hold anything back as long as it's, respectful and all that. But wow, this journey and just connecting with people and learning people, I'm realizing verbal communication is so important. It's arguably more important than nonverbal communication to me. Like, let's get into it. So I am getting ready for an event tonight. So I'm actually going to do my hair a little bit and my face. What does that look like, you ask? We'll see. So I'm realizing that actions don't always speak louder than words. And I don't think it's a new realization. I think I've always known that, and I've always felt that, at least being true for me, which is why it's been so hard. Well, it's always been hard for me to vocalize certain things. So maybe that's because I put weight on verbal communication more than action. And maybe that's also just how I was raised a little bit. Just, you see love more than you hear it. And you see, care and all that more than you hear it at all. So that's what I'm used to. But now that I'm getting a little more vocal myself, mostly due to other people as well being vocal with me, I'm like, wait, I like this. Like, I like not having to question what's going on in this dating journey. Because a lot of times I feel like we'll attribute the actions to interest and say, well, he's spending so much time with you, or she's spending so much time with you, of course they like you. And I don't want to guess, and I don't want to assume, because you spending time with me might not mean the same thing for you as I'm receiving it. Maybe for you, quality time is just something that comes natural and doesn't immediately mean that it's something you're really super interested in. Like, I think we've become so used to giving people and companies our time that it's just comes natural. It's like, all right, I'm going to spend time with you because I'm bored or I'm obligated, and I spend time with other people in other situations anyway, so why not? And so I don't really like to just go off of that. I think it's kind of new, just realizing that, you can have more. You can have the verbal clarity too. Like, it's really nice to have someone actually vocalize how they feel in addition to what they're doing to show you how they feel. And I had a conversation recently with a coworker just talking about how he thought that the girl he's dating knew that he liked her and all this stuff, but realized, I think maybe because of her, saying it, that he had never actually said the words, I like you. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes you just assume too much. And I don't want to be in a situation right now where I'm assuming somebody's interested in me at all. I just don't. Like, why do I have to play this guessing game? And I kind of fight back on this idea that you can see interest by presence. I just don't think that that's necessarily true. I've been around people I don't like that much. I've even like physically been like not really intimate, but just, I feel like I've definitely misled people for sure. No, I know that I have because I've received that feedback, that I've misled people based off of actions. And I just confuse myself because I'm like, actions are important, and that's how like I've grown up kind of seeing, love and whatever. But I guess I'm also realizing that was never enough. Like, it's not enough that I just know that you love me because you're providing things for me. Like, do you like me? Have you said it? Because if you don't say it, then I feel like I'm just here for no reason. And that's what I always go back to, or what I have gone back to, if someone that I'm talking to or misleading unintentionally tells me that, they thought that there was something. And I have been on the other side of this too, where I thought there was something because that's the way you're acting, but I guess you never said it. And for me, I'm like, I never said that I wanted a relationship. I never said that I wanted any of these things, and I'm sorry that I misled you, but I just feel like if we all had the same expectation and like requirement of not just doing the things but saying it, it would just make so much sense. We would not be playing this game. And yes, some people lie, but that's on them. It's like, you told me that you wanted this, and you've been showing up in a way that makes me believe that you want this. So what gives? And it's just interesting to kind of just learn myself a little more, learn the things that I like just based off of the people that I'm entertaining. I'm noticing things I don't like. Like, I don't like the questions that I have in my head on, are you interested in me? Because you're kind of acting like it. And all of this is actually pretty recent. Like, having someone that I felt like lacked kind of action and like communication with what was or wasn't happening. I think that in ways I noticed with one person that in person, when together, the energy and the actions, I guess, the behavior was one of interest. Like, you don't really do these things with somebody you're not interested in, right? But there was never any explicit statement or statements that really sealed the deal in any way. It's just like, okay, I'm kind of going based off of a vibe, and I don't like that, because now I'm confused and I'm thinking, just too much. I don't want to have to really guess at all. And I don't care what stage this is. Like, maybe it's early, fine, but it really shouldn't be that difficult to express something. And as I say this, I know that I have had the most difficulty expressing myself, but I also realize that I think it's been harder for me because I haven't been led by somebody else that is expressive. And I say that because I am now, I think, experiencing a situation where there is that like leadership, I guess, of communication where it's not one-sided and it doesn't feel one-sided. It doesn't feel like vulnerability even. It just feels like this is what you do. Like, if you're feeling something and you're interested in someone, you tell them. And it's amazing to just be in a situation where I don't have any problem saying it or saying how I feel. Like, that's so weird and different to me. I don't express myself very easily, so the fact that this is now coming easy, it's nice because now I know I don't have to be so scared and it's not this like huge weight to say something. Who knew? You know, I feel like this is what I just cannot not burn myself. It's just it's like it's just a problem. I think that this is what dating is all about, and it's just like teaching yourself to be vulnerable and be communicative and teaching yourself what you like, and hoping that you run into somebody that likes what you like. I just kind of like this stage of figuring it out with people. Like, I'm not really sure I want a roster because I'm still going through my learnings and findings of myself and, you know, my desires and all that. I'm okay with maybe a roster. I don't know. But I think that this stage is really teaching me a little bit more about my top love languages. Like, what is it that I actually like? And I think there are different buckets for what I like, depending on who's giving it to me. So I think if I am more romantically involved with someone, I'm thinking I like words of affirmation because I'm starting to kind of like that. I'm like, wait, I'm awesome and great and I'm pretty. It's crazy. Like, I just feel a little unrecognizable to myself in ways. So I'm like, okay, I guess I like this. I like quality time. I think I like gifts because I want them. I'm like, for me, it's kind of like a way to know that you're thinking about me. And I'm like, all right, well, hopefully I get that soon. I don't really want to communicate that because that's kind of weird. It's like, you got to give me stuff because you don't. And I just want to know that you want to, like, if you think of me and you see something that makes you think of me, it's like, oh, I got to get this. Because I think that one of my, like, giving love languages is, like, giving gifts. Like, I am already thinking about things that people have said, and I'm like, oh, I want to give you this. Like, I want you to have this. Like, it, you know, you mentioned it, and I thought it would be kind of nice. And so I'm like, oh, the way that I feel when I think of someone and I want to get them something, I want someone to feel that way about me and just like really take the time to not just come over and see me, but bring something. Don't come empty-handed now. Not a requirement, but it would be nice. So hopefully that happens soon. I honestly cannot believe that I'm learning so much about myself. And I feel like maybe it really just depends on the person. Like finding the right person, not even finding the right person, but when you are with the right people, like friends, a lot of these things come out. Like you don't really have the same reservations you would have with somebody that maybe you're tiptoeing around, like, oh, I'm not sure if he's gonna be into this, so I'm just gonna kind of pretend I'm not this person. Like, I want to really show up as organically as possible and allow people the opportunity to really make like an educated decision on whether they are interested and want to like extend something. Like I don't want to just be in something just for the sake of it. So I think with this stage, I am just going to go ahead and say things with my chest. If I feel it, I'm going to say it. Like even small things. Like I think I just need to start saying I like you. Just say it so that I take all the pressure off of it. And as much as I've been saying it lately, I'm like, oh, what pressure? Like I think that half of the problems that we have in doing things are just the number of times that we do it. If we don't do it often, it's going to be hard. Like we're just not used to saying those words. I've never been used to saying such like common phrases. And people are like, well, how do you let people know you like them if you don't tell them? I'm like, I hang out with them, which you shouldn't even lean into because I hang out sometimes with people I don't like. So I guess you'll never know. And I realize these men never know if I like them because I will never tell them. I barely even tell my friends. Like my friends are like, why will you never admit if you like somebody? And most of the time it's because I like actually don't. I just think the person's cute. And I'm like, I don't have any information to go off of whether I like them or not, but okay. But yeah, it's really not much of a scary thing. And I don't think there really has to be any game around it. Like, well, he has to say it first or she has to do this for me to say it. Like, this particular stage I am in, I don't have time for that. I just don't care. Like it or not, this is how I feel. And if I actually feel so inclined to tell you I like you, then I would assume it would be received okay. Because I'm not just out here liking clowns for real. Like I might like you for a moment. It might be a nice kind of like a little daydream vibe. But for me to say something to you like that, I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's not pressure and it's not such a big deal, but there's still some weight to it. Like I just gotta do it more. And now that I'm experiencing what it's like to just be so open and free, I kind of want to experience this with other people too. And just like, wow, I'm kind of feeling like I'm tapping into a different side of me, which I really like. And I want to give other people a piece of my mind, good or bad. Like, hey, what's up? You're acting this way. How do you feel? Because I don't want to be in the gray. Like stuff like that, which I feel like I would not say to a person that I'm ready to. I'm like, all right, next time I see a couple of these men out in the streets and we have a conversation and there's like flirtations happening that are kind of like misleading, because I'm a flirt, so I'm not going to say like, oh, you can't flirt with me. I don't mind that at all. Like I flirt back and it doesn't really mean that much to me. But when it turns into something a little more, then it's like, all right, don't play with my time like that. You might not be doing it intentionally, but now I'm just kind of curious. Like, there's no hard feelings, there's nothing there, but what is up? Are you into it or are you not? If you're not, you're stupid. And if you are, what are we doing?
I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you go. And every time you leave, it's X and O's. The vibe is so official, there ain't nothing coming close. And whenever